Okay, so we are going to look now at an oxidation reaction, oxidation of magnesium ribbon, in order for us to be able to deduce the empirical formula of magnesium oxide. So I'm going to take this magnesium ribbon, and the first thing we're going to need to do is weigh it. Now I'm just coiling it into a little circle because it's going to have to sit in my crucible in a minute. So the mass of, this needs tearing, the mass of the magnesium ribbon is 0.16 grams, okay, 0.16 grams. I'm also going to weigh the mass of the crucible with its lid. You'll see why in a moment. Okay, the mass of the crucible with its lid is 23.60, okay. We can just triple check. The magnesium is going to live in the crucible. Total mass there, therefore, is 23.76. Now, my magnesium is nicely curled inside the crucible. I'm going to sit that on a pipe clay even triangle that sits on top of my tripod. Place my crucible there with the lid on top. Now there's some oxygen within the crucible because the crucible is full of air, but in order to make sure that I fully oxidize the magnesium, once in a while throughout this reaction, I'm going to lift the lid gently using tongs, because it's going to be hot, in order to just allow circulation of a little bit of extra air and therefore oxygen in order to oxidize that magnesium. So let's get started. So a nice roaring blue flame underneath the crucible. So every minute or so, I need to just gently lift the lid to ensure a nice circulation of air. Make sure there's enough oxygen in there for complete oxidation. Not really much going on yet, just need to let it heat all the way through. Okay, something going on there now. So what we have got going on is a glowing of the magnesium in there. I can't keep the lid off for a long time to show you because we may lose some of the magnesium oxide mass. That is a risk that we take every time we ventilate very slightly. But there is definitely something going on in there. So there's still a lovely glow there. It's the odd little bit burning bright white as I ventilate, so it's still a reaction going on. So we need to keep heating. Remember, the aim is to heat to a consistent mass. So once I'm satisfied that it's fully oxidized, that all of the magnesium has reacted, I'll turn off the Bunsen and let it cool a little bit and weigh it on the mass balance. Okay, I'm turning off the Bunsen burner just to let that cool a little bit until I feel it's safe for me to transfer it to the mass balance. We want to weigh it and check that we have a consistent mass. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is carefully remove the crucible from the pipe clay triangle with the lid. It's tricky, and transfer it over to the mass balance. Get rid of the tongs. So the mass I'm recording at the moment is 23.79. 23.79. I need to make a mental note of that because I have to transfer this back now. I'm just going to try and flatten that out a bit, makes it a bit easier. As I said, we need to heat to a consistent mass. So I'm now just going to relight my Bunsen burner. And just heat, your method says for 2 more minutes. Now I'm pretty satisfied that that's fully oxidized. but we do need to make sure, and we can make sure by heating it a little bit more, putting it back on the mass balance, and checking that we have the same mass. Okay, so 2 minutes later, I'm going to turn off my Bunsen burner again. I'm going to let it cool a moment, and then I'm going to weigh it. 23.79. So that is a consistent mass, so we know we have fully oxidized the magnesium oxide. From the data now recorded in your results table, you'll have to do a couple of little sums, and then you can deduce the empirical formulae of magnesium oxide.